Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome along to the SRF Weekend Warriors presented by RaceVoice. Of course, it's week 3 and we are here at Spa. A little bit different from obviously the longer course before, but it's the club circuit, the much shorter version that we'll be racing tonight in here in the rolling hills of Austria in Spielberg. And you'll have myself, Tim Cox, and I'm once again joined by Adam Halfield, and as always we have Jonathan Grabowski on production. Now, what can we mention about last week? It was an absolute blinder once again, wasn't it, Adam?
Yeah, I loved it. Very different from the first week, but it all kicked off, and there were a few drivers who were disappointed in Nicelli once again, losing out this time through a pit lane penalty, and Aero Nom with a fantastic drive, but just got nudged out in the closing stages, ends up 6th, but still leads the title, which is all he'll care about, I imagine.
I will be, undoubtedly, as he's looking to make it, put himself on 5 championships, currently on 4. Currently the driver with the highest number of championships is Gaspers on 5, and Aero Nom be looking to equal that record. So, well worth tuning in for the rest of the season to see how he gets on. And probably our shortest track of the year here at Red Bull Ring, and definitely one to watch out for. We've got qualifying just coming to a close. Top 3 currently separated by under a 1/10 of the second. That is just how slim the margins are. 56.2 leading the way from Aero Nom. As you said, the Estonian out in front. Once again, Antonio Royce, he's leading Masters. We've seen great qualifying from him. Tailing last season, also into this season, but hasn't quite been able to hook it up during the race. It had a bit of misfortune. Leading the way in Spec 2 is Rodriguez. He's currently on the front row with Norman. It was a little bit squirrely last week, wasn't he, Adam? And probably didn't quite have the race that he would have been hoped for and what we were expecting from him.
Oh, I think there's a few guys who will have been disappointed with last week. Certainly, those taken out first corner will not want to repeat that. We've had 2 races so far, and twice we haven't quite made it around the first lap. We didn't even make it to the first corner in the first race. We were crashing before then. It's a short lap, so there's every chance they might finish a lap before they have the big accident today.
Well, you never know. The laps are going to come absolutely thick and fast here at the Red Bull Ring, which is such a short track anyway, as we were saying earlier, let alone running this configuration of the circuit. You turn right about halfway along the back, to call it a back straight, but it's just after turn 1, which then brings you out into the third from last corner, Worth. This is just right on board with Jorg. Marnie had a great outing last time. It'll be another interesting driver to see how he gets on. Of course, came home in second, might have even, it was so close. I could have even potentially won last week, couldn't he, Adam?
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought it was on for him. I predicted a dive into the last hairpin, the source hairpin, and then I was waiting with bated breath to see if he could get a toe down to the end. Didn't quite come out for him. He'd been leading for a lot of the race. I think he was on pole as well last week, wasn't he? So yeah, all the ability to do well and snatch a win today, I imagine.
Of course, this series, as always, sponsored by RaceVoice, and thank you very much for their continued support of supporting this championship. Now, if you're looking for a simple way to transform complicated performance data into easy to understand voice notifications and alerts, they have over 16 different notifications, including up and down shift, over rev alerts, corner entry, turn in and exit speeds. It provides immediate feedback on driver and vehicle performance. Also, if you want to step today with what is happening at Apex Racing TV, our socials, our Twitter is Apex Racing TV, Facebook is facebook.com/Apex Racing TV, of course Instagram is Apex Racing TV. Now, drivers currently on their warm-up, as you just see, we're on there just out onto the grass, quite where he was hoping to be. So see Hansen, he's just set a new fastest lap in practice, 58, but really amount for much. It's all going to come down to what's going to happen. I would imagine it's going to be so crucial in these opening laps, Adam, just to try and get away cleanly, I'd say, probably, rather than try and make places. Or do you think it's going to come down to those guys who can try and capitalise on mistakes early on?
Well, I just want to go back to where Grant was off track there, pulled off into the grass, but that run between turns 5 and 6 is very open, but it's a bit of a honey trap as well. There's definitely a chance of some off-track time penalties there. You go into the right hand of the quick turn 5 so fast, and then you can run the curbing, but you can't run out into the green or the full-on tarmac. I think that's going to be a critical area for people picking up penalties. We're on board with Murakami as we come through it now. You see the red and white curb and then the green serrated curb. Past that, you're going to pick up a penalty, and it's going to be a hefty one when you imagine that you then flat out down the main straight. As regards to the start, I think they've just got to survive it. We think we saw it last week. We quickly developed packs racing, sort of 4 at a time, all the way down to 16th. If you survive early, get into a pack that is of your relative pace, and then you just got to sort of sit and wait and see what fireworks happen at the end.
So, track is an incredibly short 1.4 miles, that's 2.3 kilometres, and the sound of the hills surrounding Spielberg, well, rather than ringing with the sound of music, as per the Julie Andrews film, it'll be the sound of, I believe we've got similar about close to 50 Ford spec racers, and the sound of myself and you, Adam, trying to pick this one apart and call it in what's going to be, I'm sure, some dramatic fashion.
It's music to my ears, definitely. Whether it's music to the viewers' ears, I'm not so certain. The engines, at least. Yeah, I think we've got 47 signed up for tonight, so another big grid, lots of action ahead.
It is. It's a big beginning by weekend warriors standards, I mean, anything, 40 is probably about average. I mean, we've one of our bigger grids here today, and on our shortest track of the calendar, a real contrast to Spa last week, which is the longest circuit we'll be visiting all season, and even shorter than what we saw in round 1 at Lime Rock Park. And well, we saw what went down there, Adam, and I just get the feeling we're in for another night of great racing, action, drama, from minute 1 to minute 40, right at the end of the race.
Yeah, it could be a return of the lap traffic taking its toll, definitely. Such a short circuit.
Let's just wait for, there we go. There's the grid appearing. So as mentioned, Aaron on pole with a 56.2. Rodriguez just missing out by 0.04 of a second. We're getting the spec to the racer onto the front row. Then a new driver, Laboudia, the Frenchman, he's in 3rd place with Aidan Campbell alongside for company. The 3rd row is made up of Canadian Tony Bartman and Naselli. Simon Mayer has Beardsley alongside him on the 4th row. David Baum down a bit by where his standards, 4/10 off the pace. He's got Jorg Marni, another of the great qualifiers from last week, on the 5th row. Then it's Favini and Andalo making up the 6th row of the grid. And then onto the 7th row, it's Arabian and Dantas. Antonio raced the highest of the Masters drivers. He's in 15th with McCain alongside him. 2nd in Masters was Brewster. Mirashek is with him on the 9th row. On the 10th row makes up Murakami and McGill. As you can see, the top 3 in Masters, all starting on the same side of the grid in 15th, 17th and 19th. Then we've got Devaka and Green in 21st, 22nd. Sony and McGuinness make up to 24th. Then it's Jackson and Gradwell, with Justice has got Gibson alongside him. Trespidi has Kirk Broadhurst with him to take him up to 30th. Then we've got Godfrey and Hansen, Bottega and Jacobson, Kotcher and Kern, making an all-American row there. Bracestead has Warbolt alongside him, making up another American row there. Effinger and Contini takes you up to 40th. And then we've got Grant and Flagg, Burkitt and Mino, who keep one eye on him. We know how he loves to come through the field, the Argentinian. Samuel Dick is in 45th with Hansen, making the last complete row of the grid. And Joshua Flores rounds out the field here in 47th place. And as you can see, a full pace lap. However, such a short lap, we're going to be racing incredibly quickly. The drivers just come around the 2nd to last corner. We get ready to go racing here in week 3 of the SRF Weekend Warriors, here live and exclusive on Apex Racing TV. As always, Aaron On brings the field round. You see the Porsche 911 safety car, that's well and truly in. And we get ready to go racing here in Austria, and a great start by the Estonian coming clear. But Rodriguez, he's got Bartman right alongside for company. Bartman on the outside, just having to tuck back in, but a great start from him as everyone looks to have filtered through relatively cleanly through turn 1 on the run up to turn 2 now, which brings us mentioned just halfway along the straight on the normal track. And Naselli, he's down upper place, he's got himself up into 5th. But Bartman, what a start from him. Up into 2nd already, Adam.
Yeah, nice clean start from Ron. Just pulled away from the pack. Bartman making his move straight up in 2nd. That's a great start. Really flew away from the line there, or from the line of the pack. Immediately, Nom's stretching out a lead and taking Bartman with him. As I mentioned, we're all towing the line on the outside on that track limit, and then kicking up the dust on the exit of turn 6. First lap in the books.
Yeah, already over and done with this lap 1, as we just see Antonio Race locked in the middle of the pack there. Amazingly, everyone's got away really cleanly. See Race just on the left-hand side of your screen there. He's going to head up the inside, past Beardsley, and also Brewster as well. Race already up for 3 places. Currently, biggest riser is Mino. We mentioned about him before the race, up 7 places already, the Argentinian. Down the back of the field make that 2 places into turn 1. He's got himself up another place, up into 34th already.
Making great going there. Made a lot of movers. In 6 corners, he must have thrown it up the inside of 3 of them at every corner.
it's a spectacular step from the Argentinian. This is just becoming accustomed to him. I expect to see him knocking on the door of the top 10 towards the latter stages of the race. It's all happening. Everyone, I mean, relatively clean here. I wasn't quite expecting this one, Adam. We see Rodriguez, the fastest lap, 56.47, but that's going to chop and change a lot. You see Piotr Mirashek there. He's got McGill just ahead. But I was expecting there to at least be some form of incident, but we've yet to have one.
Yeah, I think it's a factor of a small circuit as well. You get plenty of time to really get it down pat, learn every single little bump and hump, and then you shouldn't be making mistakes, really. 6 corners to master. I imagine everyone's got it pretty much down as they want, and so from now on they're just thinking, be consistent, follow your guy in front. I think everyone's pretty much in a snake as well. It's not a great circuit for overtaking, I'll point that out. Maybe turn 1 if you're late on the brakes, and turn 2 is only the main braking point here.
So do you think it's mostly going to be mistakes that's going to allow people, well, say that Bartman, there you go, you set it into turn 1, Adam, and there you go, up the inside of Aeronom, who yields that lightly. This in the background, Campbell getting past Rodriguez. He's already dropped 2 places, but starting to see a little bit of a breakaway group, and see Aeronom going to switch back that place with Bartman.
Takes it straight back there. I think he may have made a small mistake, maybe run a little bit wider on the exit of 6, which allowed Bartman to get a much better run. Campbell made the move that I was expecting to see, sort of halfway alongside and just finished it off on the brakes into turn 1.
See it happening all in the midfield, as always became. It's down 1 place so far, however, in that black and white and red livery, just all over the back of Chris Murakami ahead of him. He's come through the pack together, and incredibly, just tippy-toeing almost through that corner.
Yeah,
Murakami under a bit of pressure here.
He's just starting to lose touch with his 2 main rivals, Reyes and Brewster in the Masters. They all started line astern, but he's got a bit of a shuffle on. He's got a couple of cars between him now, which he'll want to rectify if he's going to win that class.
Just see McGill heading up the inside of Andalo there. What's happening in the middle? Oh no, we've got a spinner. That's Andalo. And he's off and he's gone, and he's going to lose an absolute ton of places, and I imagine he's going to pull it back to
the pit. Gone to the pit lane. I'm not sure who collected him in the middle there, though. Someone got a faceful.
I was experiencing a few connection issues, was sort of blinking in and out. As you see Mirashek there, McGuinness all over the back of him. What's going to happen now in the run down to right? Let's see, just getting ahead there, but this battles up and down the field. Of course, field still really tightly compacted. Just up to 6 laps completed though so far. Nom is in the lead. Bartman second, Campbell third, Rodriguez leading spec 1, he's 4th overall. Naselli, Meyer, Marni, Bomb, Arabian, and Dantas takes you up to the top 10. Antonio Race, he's leading Masters, he's in 11th. Fabini second in class in 12th. You see Dantas there making his way round with Antonio Race just ahead of him. He's having a cracking start at 5 places so far. However, mentioned again, Mino up 14th, but Dantas looks like a bit of bump drafting going on there, Adam.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be working that to his favour. He might want to just make the move and try and catch up with the drivers who are pulling ahead. It's Arabian just up the road in 9th, a second, nearly 2-second gap to them, in fact. Meanwhile, Nom sets his fastest lap of the race. With only a 10th lead from Bartman, I think those 4 have sort of gone, and Naselli's desperately trying to cling on to them.
It's a bit of a gap then between Naselli and Meyer in 6th, and 2 seconds covering those guys. So starting to get this breakaway group as we always seem to get before we have the peloton.
Where's Meyer gone?
Meyer's dropped out, hasn't he? Oh, he's had an incident.
So I saw his name dropping down the scoreboard. Something's going on, and there we see him.
He's going to come right out the back, isn't he, Adam? Because it's just impossible to rejoin, especially with this short circuit. The traffic just constantly coming in. Meyer just gingerly. Oh, that's horrific damage on the rear left, isn't it?
I think it's both rear ends, to be quite honest. I think they were both looking a little bit wobbly as we cut away and he's straight into the pits now.
Let's see if we can get a replay of Simon May and see how it all unfolded for him. So there you go, you can see exactly what happened to him. He's locked it up, and that's him gone. And so unfortunate after a great start by Mayer, but it just shows, doesn't it, the trickiness of this series, and especially with such a short track as well.
Yeah, I think the cut-throughs are always the ones that are a little bit slippery as well. It's a little bit of an art knowing how to attack those kinds of corners, because they're never quite smooth either. You only get a few bumps in there, which can unsettle you, which may be what's caused them to lock this time.
Happening in the midfield there. Gibson, he's got Potenga and Jackson tucked up right behind, so run down to right, and almost a bit of a free wide there in the background between Potenga and Jackson, just getting through. I mean, obviously we have a pit stop during this race. We're just coming up to not far off quarter race distance already. It's hard to know what to do, really, because obviously if you're stuck behind someone, the natural thing is to, you know, come in, take a pit stop, get yourself in some clear air. But I mean, just looking at the track, I mean, and the times differences between everyone, I can't see a clear spot on the track as we see Gibson heading up the inside of Hansen there.
No, we mentioned it in the build-up. It's a lot like Lime Rock, and the lap traffic is going to come into play. Where you feed out, whether you get a little bit of clean air where you can just set some times, or you get dumped right in the middle of the battle, is going to be key to everyone's race here, especially the front runners, obviously.
It's going to be absolutely crucial for them, and I'm sure it's going to play a chunky part in the story here. And therefore the race results, you see behind McCain there, Murakami under pressure from McGill. Likewise, Murakami trying to make advances, and by Murakami standards, well down the order in 16th. Normally expected to see him inside the top 10.
Yeah, Reyes has pulled away in that group as well. The Masters group, Reyes has made a couple of places. He's up to 9th now, and Murakami's still got Brewster to play with. Those three are way ahead of the rest of their cohort. I think Murakami was sort of doing a defence and attack job there into turn one. He sort of moved a little bit over to defend the line to make sure that McGill wasn't taking a dive, whilst at the same time looking at McCain's inside. And it's what you've got to do in this kind of racing. You've got to have eyes in the front and back of your head.
See Race leading this group, however, well down on Arabian, who's currently in 8th overall. Gales into the pits. That's a bit early. I don't think he's going to make it quite to the end. Stopping so early. There he is into the pits. I mean, if you're going to make it past the quarter of an hour mark, realistically, if you've got any chance, any hopes of trying to make it home here. As you see in the foreground there, Gibson and Hansen swapping places as everyone going through. Yeah, it's probably a little bit early for McGill, although we've got Mino, he's also in as well, and I don't know, it's that bit of damage to the front end. There it is, and that's after a blinding start from the Argentinian once more. He's going to fall right down through the order and come out right at the back of the pack as he gets that damage repaired. Right now, not still in the way.
Be interested to know where that's come from. Which is that a desperate move, or is he just flicked it off somewhere around the lap? Meanwhile, Nom's trying to navigate traffic.
It's getting really messy here, isn't it? As they try and come through the track. You mentioned about it earlier, Adam. It's so hard to get passes done. Then combined as well with catching the traffic so early on. We're just 11 minutes into the racing here, and already the trappers are trying to find their way through, but this has really helped our two people, Rodriguez and Nom. Rodriguez has got himself back up into 2nd place, and Nom has managed to pull a bit of a gap over these guys, some 8 tenths clear as well.
Yeah, Rodriguez was sort of round the outside of the traffic into turn 2 there. I don't know if he made up his places by going in deep and cutting round. And Campbell got momentarily disjointed as well with a couple of back markers between him and the front three, but he's recovered now, and I imagine all three will be back onto Nom within a lap or two.
Obviously, Nom has got to negotiate the traffic that will be coming up onto. And that's what I'm sure is going to allow the guys behind, like Rodriguez, Bartman, Campbell and Naselli, to catch right up onto the back of them. They've all managed to clear their previous lot of traffic.
Yeah, I think that's helped Naselli more than anyone. He was off the back of that front four, but now he's right there with them. Meanwhile, Manny's now going to be leading his group through the traffic.
The next car for not these guys to catch up to is going to be Mino, who's currently down in 44th place. I think he is roughly about 6 seconds up the road. So this is Nom's chance now to put in some almost quality style laps. You see Rodriguez setting the new fastest lap there, 56.4. If he wants to try and break away from these guys, this is surely going to be prime time for it.
I think that fastest lap from Rodriguez shows that they're not pushing when they're in the tow. He got separated by 4 or 5 tenths. He's got to close that gap up so he can go full blast and set fastest laps. Whilst they're all just towing off, I think they're all just backing off into a couple of the corners and just, you know, easing the throttle, not taking it too serious at the moment.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because there's not a lot of options. Oh, it's just down at turn 1 there. Bit of an issue there. Godfrey and I think McGuinness as well caught up in action. And we do it be a bit tricky down into there. And yeah, McGuinness, clear visible damage to that car, especially on the rear right. I get the feeling they've had a bit of contact there somewhere into turn 1.
As Campbell now retakes the fastest lap.
It's all happening, isn't it? It's Antonio Race, another one locked in a battle. Really dropping off the back of Arabian. He's ahead on track. 8th place. Rice has got Dantas, Beardsley, Favini all right behind him. Needs to be a little bit careful here, Antonio Race, because obviously, though he's fighting these guys for position overall, not necessarily in Masters. See Jim Brewster, he's down in 13th and he's around about 6 seconds clear. Also behind of Antonio Race right now. It's a bit of, I mean, I say it's a bit of trick, it needs to be careful, but then equally, these are racing drivers and that normally goes well out the windows. You see Dantas, he's going to come up the inside and they almost...
Oh, they did contact.
North there.
Oh, and that's a definite slowdown for Reyes. He's gone way outside limits. Let's see if he can serve it in a clever way.
Financing coming across the start finish race, clearly backing out of it, just allowing Beardsley and Favini through. Just only saying seconds ago about how race needs to be careful. And there you go, Kirsten, the commentator, striking a little bit there.
Yeah, he won't thank you for that one.
And he won't be. And what was some 6 seconds he had clear of Brewster? That's now down to 4.6.
Yeah, but he is still part of the same group, and it's Brewster and Murakami who are 4 seconds off, so I don't think he's going to get troubled by them unless more of that sort of behaviour takes place.
But would they give these Brewster and Murakami a bit of a hurry up now? Because obviously they'll be able to see that races, drop those places. They can physically see him on, certain parts of the track as well. And is it going to encourage these guys to really, put them, pedal to the metal?
Is Murakami close to the pit? He is.
There we go. Murakami's in, so that's going to break up these guys. I'm trying to have a look at where he's going to come out. It's going to be well down in the field, but...
Yeah, I just spotted him there running a little bit of a tighter line, which is normally reserved for if you're just ducking into the pits. He did have to follow a damaged car in there, so I hope that's not cost him any time.
Yeah, so we've got Godfrey into the pits as well. Justice in at 2. Now, just having a little look. I think Murakami's going to come out around about 24th place, but right now we're just looking at the battle. That group in the fight over 10th place. Dantas, Favini and Rice. So Beardsley is over 9th. Beardsley up in the head of the lead of this group. Murakami, he's come on pit exit right now. And this looks like he's going to have McGill and Braced coming through. Conti's going to slip by, and also I think McCain as well. Not the ideal position when he's going to come out in, although he's got himself in a little bit of a pocket, but not too much right now, Murakami.
Yeah, he wants to watch himself on the exit. In fact, all drivers do. He was towing the white line to dictate where you can drive the exit of the pit lane. and you can pick up penalties for that very easily if you slip out wide and think, oh, I'll just hook straight onto the racing line, maybe hook back into the toe. So everyone should be watching out for that one.
We've got Butenga, he's into the pits as well, just to see where he comes out into relation of Murakami too. Godfrey still in the pits, but Nom is, look, you can see him right in the, just in the background there, coming through. And this gap is all starting to close up again once more. Rodriguez right behind, who's managed to get it within 0.3 of a second. Bartman, Campbell and Naselli all tucked up right behind, and this is now about how Aeronom deals with the traffic. It's almost like a multi-class race in the sense of everyone, you know, it's all about traffic management. It's not just slossing it up the inside, that incredibly tight stuff. This is fight number 8, and look, this is what we're talking about. Rodriguez is now stuck, and he can't find a way past, and this is what's allowing Nom to pull away. That's number 12 there. And amongst everyone, oh, we just see that's it was Conti
further contact
coming through. And this is incredibly close, and a bit of a dangerous time here now, Adam, for this lead group.
Yeah, our number 12 driver needs to just watch his mirrors a little bit more closely. He doesn't necessarily have to jump out of the way or jump on the brakes, but he could have certainly eased the top 5 through better than he did, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, Nom's now caught the next.
Look up ahead. And Nom nearly caught right up in that. That is Murakami ahead, and he's forcing Nom to the inside. Nom's just going to slot his way through. And look, just positioning Murakami there to make sure he's in between himself and Rodriguez. So just having a little bit of a look. It's Bracet as well, who's right in amongst it. And look, this is helping Nom tremendously as Murakami is now battling toe-to-toe with Bracet. But look behind them. You've got Rodriguez, Bartman and Campbell all trying to go 3 wide into right. Oh, this is scary stuff. Well. Oh, they can get out of the way very, very quickly. I think that might have been Hansen there to come round. Red Bull Mobile, and this is incredibly close. I don't want to look in some ways here, Adam, because this is millimetres away from a major incident.
Yeah, everyone close your eyes. We'll tell you what's happening, don't worry. But yeah, very, very difficult. Oh, and again, we're close side by side. The problem is Murakami was battling there. He was trying to make a position, and he has done. It's actually played out in his favour. He's gained 2 or 3 seconds over number 271 there, but it's separated Nom and Rodriguez at the front of the race as well. They've got almost 2 seconds out front now.
They're really able to capitalise from that and break up this group of 5 into a lead group of 2. It's just whether Rodriguez can stay with them, but however, as we've seen, all it takes them to, you know, catch another group of drivers, and all of a sudden it changes dramatically. I mean, Nom did have an 8/10 advantage over Rodriguez only around about 2 laps ago, and then when they caught that group, it got, you know, that lead got swallowed right up. And you get the feeling this is going to keep yo-yoing back and forth. We should see Dantas there. He's got Favini behind him, and Antonio Reyes still holding on to that 12th place and that lead in Masters, and actually pulling away from Brewster behind. That gap had dropped from 6 seconds down to 4.5, back up to around about 6.5 seconds now. So Bryce Abel, he's just, where he's been able to keep this group, it's really paying dividends for him right now here, Adam.
Yeah, he's still on the back of this group, just going, sideways Dantas into there. I think he held on to it, yeah. Good driving.
I'm not too sure how he managed to hold on to that one. That was a very, very Larry moment. Of course, the engine in these cars, in the rear of the car, it's being rear-wheel drive, and when the rear starts to go, it can be a bit of a tricky one to hold on, but Dantas somehow managing to there. See.
Yeah, it can act as a pendulum and just keep you spinning, can't it?
See Murakami on the move there. Serve up another position. But this is incredibly close right now. It's just who's going to be able to manage this traffic in the best possible way. I mean, you can see there that Bartman just clearing everyone relatively quickly. Campbell following him through in the number 23. Selly coming through as well. Murakami's the next on the track for these guys. I mean, it's helpful in some ways that we know Murakami has got a good, decent level of raw pace, but then equally that doesn't help them in trying to clear him as quick as possible.
Yeah, remember he was running just outside the top 10 before his pit stop, so he's definitely got the pace to run with them. He just doesn't want to let them all go and lose time against the guys he's racing with. Reyes and Brewster are still out there lapping as fast as they were, so Murakami doesn't want to pull in, let guys go and lose 2 or 3 seconds. If he can tow on the fast guys, the front 5, then he's all for that.
Sweeney in the pits, as we just see further down the field, Flag and Kern swapping places there. Well, so they swap places. Just a left-right, left nature there. Seeing Flag keeping ahead of Kern. Well, for now, Kern's going to have the inside line, but just looking behind them, it's all getting tight once more, and this I'm not sure how everyone's quite making it through. It's everyone's. Oh no, there we go! Contact there for Flag.
Miscommunication there. We had one driver, hot driver, coming from the hot lane into the slow lane for the pits, and another driver.
More spinners. That's Murakami, I think, there. Heading to the inside, and there's another car there. I didn't quite catch who it was. As it all starts to unfold.
Was it Murakami? I think it was 901 who was coming into.
That's
oh, yeah,
Murakami.
Murakami, of course it is.
See, out in front. Oh, well, this has been happening. Rodriguez has managed to get past Nom for the lead.
Yeah, these guys are now deep into the...
This is a replay of how it all unfolded to the front. You see on the start-finish straight, Rodriguez getting in the draft of Aeronorm and into turn 1, gets the move done. Nice and easy. Nom nice and compliant there. Just seems to let Rodriguez go.
Yeah, Nom definitely came out of the throttle there. He wanted Rodriguez back online. In for the... when he's into the pits now, Nom dives into the pits. He hasn't got Rodriguez with him, though.
Well, Hansen in as well. Where is Nom going to come out? Is he going to come out? Of course, he's going to come out in traffic due to the amount of cars on track on such a short circuit. It's just 1.5 miles, 2.4 kilometres. It's all of the distance here on the national circuit at Red Bull Ring. See Rodriguez. I mean, this is where it can get tricky for him now. You see him just in front, just behind McGill. How quickly can he clear these drivers? Is he going to get held up too much? And equally, here's Nom. He's come out. Where is he going to come out? He's come out into around about, that's going to be 13th place. It is, yes. He's got a nice little pocket. He's got a clear track in front of him. Relatively clear track behind him as well. I think this could be Nom's best chance as Rodriguez looks to be in a bit of traffic.
Yeah, that's a lovely little slot in there. I didn't expect to find that much open space out on track. He won't have it for long. There are a couple of cars ahead of him, which I imagine he'll catch fairly quickly. Meanwhile, Rodriguez is staring at the back of at least 2 more cars who are battling.
We've got Arabian into the pits as well. He's coming from 7th. Also, Nom leading the way of all the drivers that pitted. And it's everyone's starting to fan through. It's a very, very busy track here. It's all just running a bit deep there. Try and work out who that was. Everyone all over the place. We're right on board with Dantas. That's Beardsley just ahead of us. And then York Marnie is currently got himself up into... No, sorry, it's not York Marnie. That's number 12 there. So Dantas is just about getting his way through there, fighting through the traffic, and cars littered across the track.
This is madness. We've got back markers, cars coming out of the pits, and sort of the mid-pack battle all coalescing together. Oh, we've got 3 wide into turn 5. That's never going to be good.
But somehow I think everyone just managing to get through. Everyone tripping up over one another. Of course, the pit window well and truly open now. Drivers trying to dive in. It's whether they can get to that inside line, and then also they need to be careful of what's happening behind them. Because someone's making an overtaking move, they can easily run into the back room. Just see Antonio Rice getting past Favini down into turn 1 there. It's all happening in the back room. We've got Beardsley and Dantas into the pits. Kurt Flores as well. Nom making great progress as everyone runs a bit wide out there out of turn 1. Wow.
Yeah, I think 5 wide, including the off track there, just for a moment. I think there might have been a little bit of contact as some people got impatient into turn 1, but it was all kicking off down the main straight. I think there were 3 wide, 3 deep for a second.
It's Just another average day here in the SRF Weekend Warriors once more. You see David Baum there, he's got Jörg Marni. He's in a little pocket. Sure, they're going to be working together to try and pull each other along and make use of this clear air that they've got. As you see Marni just heading up the inside there, Frontier Racing. He's coming out of he's got pit entry. He is. Where is Aeronom? He's currently in 10th. Pit stop time here is about 50 seconds. And yeah,
it costs you nearly a lap.
Well, looking at it, Aeronom is only about 30 seconds behind Rodriguez. This could be an absolute masterstroke of finding himself in some clear air here and making great progress. We're just seeing Campbell battling out with Bartman there in the battle for what is second place at the moment. Going to be the last place on the podium, you would imagine. By the time Norm has obviously come around, and these guys have taken their pit stops as they go side by side once more in the run up to Niki Lauda. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Bartman's got Campbell's got the inside, and that gets the move done, and up into second for now, but Bartman on the fight back. Here comes the Canadian. Can he get the move done down into turn 2 and instantly reclaim that place? Oh, just runs a little bit deep there. Campbell able to run it around the outside. He's going to have the inside line, but then Bartman on the exit of Worth, he's going to have the inside line once more. And Bartman keeps hold of that place, and Campbell loses it for definite. But here comes the Selly. What can he do? Or dare he do anything here, Adam?
Yeah, excellent racing from the two of them there, side by side for 4 or 5 corners. But it's all costing Naselli jumps to the pit lane.
Can he get a bit of luck? Can he get himself out in some clear air, like what we saw Nom did?
Well,
that's going to be really interesting.
I think he's just read the room there. Bartman and Campbell, if they're going to go side by side for half a lap at a time, get out of their way, get into the pit lane, and hopefully come out with some clean air like Nom did.
Bomb is into the pits as well. Now, it's going to be a really, really interesting one, the Selly. Where is he going to come out in relation to Aero Nom? Because Aero Nom, as we mentioned, you know, the first to break without grid. He's on that start-finish track. So, as we see, not just making his way past the 9.33 of Brewster there. Nom has got himself up to 6th place. The Selly's on his way out. Now, how far behind Nom has he come out? So he's run about 3.5 seconds behind him. How did Aeronom get away with that one? That could have been race ending instantly there, Adam, but somehow he managed to make it through, and I don't think he's even managed to incur any damage either.
Yeah, I think there was contact, but it must have been the lightest of contacts, because from where I'm sat, that car looks mint. I don't think there's any damage to it. He's really got away with one there.
It was like his life was flashing before his eyes. But Brewster just behind him. I'm trying to work out who it was in front of them. It was Conti spinning. Brewster locked up and drifted onto the grass. Managed to keep hold of it though, and Nom living to fight another day once more. Wow. It's a bit hard to tell from that livery as well, whether he's incurred any damage, but yeah, Nom will be desperate as Marni, he's into the pits from 4th place. Our top 3 yet to pit. Carrying on once more. We've got half an hour completed, 10 minutes left here at Red Bull Ring in week 3 of the SRF Weekend Warriors, presented to you by RaceVoice. And this could go absolutely any way. Steve Rodriguez, our leader at the moment. Bartman right behind. Head back to a replay of Aero Nom. See what's happened to him. Just from earlier.
Yeah, there's definite contact there. It's just, I think it's light enough that it's not damaged the car. Brewster actually got the sort of the tail end of that. He saw what was coming, jumped on the brakes, and it cost him, whereas Nom probably had no time to react and has actually managed to side his way through it without damage, I think.
Toure still leading the way in Masters. Currently, he is in 13th place. Yet to sort itself out because he's locked in the group with Vini, who is yet to pit, and currently in 4th. That is Rodriguez ahead of him, our leader. I mean, it's impressive stuff from Rodriguez to lap all the way up to 13th place so far. I know he's yet to take his pit stop, whereas everyone else, pretty much everyone else has, bar our top 4. Gibson was another one yet to take his pits, but he's just heading in right now. And
he's in.
There we go, heading in.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, he's lost it. He's lost it. And he's come right back across the track, and he nearly gets wiped out there. And he's going to have to go around again, but has he got enough fuel?
Oh, come on.
And he's been hit there. I'm not too sure who that was he made contact with. As it all unfolds, the drama here, Bartman and Campbell, they're in. They've managed to get away with it. Wow, Rodriguez, I think it looks like he's coming to the pit, so he's got to have towed that. Surely there's another spinner in the background on the exit of Red Bull Mobile, and it's absolutely happening here.
Oh, kicked off there. I think it's a problem with the entrance to the pit lane. He's got Reyes right in his back bumper, so he doesn't want to slow down enough. He wants to keep the pace up so he doesn't get run over, but also slow down for the pits. He's lost it. And then he's not made a very good return to the track, I'm afraid.
Seems obviously panicking a little bit as we see Nom still out in the lead. He's got a second over Bartman. He's then got a further 1.2 seconds over Campbell, and Naselli in 4th place. He's in a bit of a pocket of space by himself right now.
Actually, Bartman's a lot closer than I thought he would be. That's only a second gap now.
It's, yeah, it seems they've not had all that clean air, and saw Bartman locked in a battle with Rodriguez, who went down the order. And I mean, Bartman obviously is going to have that much faster pit stop. He was stationary for about a second less compared to Nom. But even so, some great work by the Canadian there. Now we've got quite a few drivers coming into the pits again for the second time. I mean, I'm sure instant point limits are kicking in. We've got drive-throughs happening here. You can see drivers in the back pit lane there. There's Gibson being one of them. Hansen, I think, another. All having to take drive-through penalties when they hit the incident point limits.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's easily done with these sorts of tracks. You don't have to run much over the curb, and those one-up X's will catch you, especially if you're going round 40-odd times.
We're already up to just coming round to start lap 36 for there along our leader. Talking to leaders, Antonio Race leading the way in Masters, all over the back of Favini, just ahead of him. And racing currently 10th overall, Favini 9th overall, and these are the leaders in Spec 2 and Masters. Of course, after losing Rodriguez, due to that, wow, big incident into the pit entry, lost it, and then span out wide and had major contact. Rodriguez is still the way down in 41st place, so he's dropped 40 places. A big drop, and such a shame after looking, he looks a dead cert for the win in Spec 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was away. He was racing for the win in his mind. I think Spec 2 was just a consolation prize if he didn't quite win the race outright. But now Favini's got that one wrapped up. Meanwhile, Reyes, he's now got a 11-second lead over his nearest competitor, Brewster. And obviously Murakami's idea of coming in the pits early has really backfired.
It's definitely not worked out for him. As you see, there's our leader, Aeronaut. It's the 37th lap here at Red Bull Ring. We've got around about 4 minutes left of racing. Just going to wait to around about 5 laps here. It's an incredibly short lap. Just having a little bit of a look. Fastest lap at the moment looks like that's going to Aidan Campbell, a 56.4. Nobody getting, well, the closest to that is, well, Bartman, only 0.03 of a second slower.
Yeah, Campbell's going to be looking ahead and hoping for a battle between the two. Oh, as he's getting held up now through turn 5. Another back marker's just taking it a little bit steady. He slides through on the brakes into T6, but he's 2 seconds behind the front two, and he'll be desperately hoping that they start battling sooner rather than later with only a few laps to go to the end.
It's cost him a little bit more, so it's now 2.5 seconds. Bartman setting a new personal best there, 56.401. As he tries to hunt down Aero Nom. Bartman is really coming alive this season. There's always someone who seems to pluck something out of the bag and make great progress. Bartman seems to be the driver for this season. That's down the mighty Estonian, who's trying to, he's got his own aspirations not only for the title, also, as mentioned earlier in the show, to equal those 5 championships to tie with Gaspers. It's that gap, look, it's closing right up now. It's under 2 tenths into the Red Bull Mobile, the last corner.
The run. He's got to run, he's going to pull out.
He's going to look, he's just using the slipstream from that back marker there. He's up well up the inside into turn 1. You get the feeling this is going to be it for Bartman. It's not how hard it's not going to defend, or is he going to get him on the cutback? Let's find out. Bartman just bouncing across the curb on the exit. Nom tucked up right behind. Bartman goes defensive to the inside. Nom is going to have to get a little bit creative, or maybe look for the next lap. As his favourite spots of turn 1 and turn 2 have now gone.
We've got 3 laps to go. 3 laps. These two, one-on-one. Who's going to come out on top?
It's so hard to tell. I mean, does Nom, in fact, actually sit behind Bartman and look to try and, you know, wait for the very last lap and use that, knowing that if he can get ahead into turn 2, he's pretty much got it right the way to the finish.
Yeah, but as we've just seen there, Bartman can defend into 2. The cutback out of 1 is not a guarantee of being able to slide up the inside for 2. So he's got to think about this, and he's got a lot of time to do it in.
So good to have you, Yang Chi Lin, in the chat. Disappointed not to see you out on track this week. It's been an absolute classic here. And right now, Bartman's still leading the way from Aero Nom. Long left in the race. So 1 minute just coming up to now. Campbell occupying the last of the podium places. He looks good for that one, this early. 5 seconds behind, so 6 seconds behind him. Then we've got Bomani, the back Arabian taking you up to 8th. Antonio Races managed to find his way past Favini. 9th overall, still winning in Masters. Favini still leading in Spec 2. Here comes Nom. Oh, has he got the
exit?
A slight hesitation on the throttle there. Right up on the Estonian. He's going to be up the inside. What's Bartman going to do? Is he going to remain side by side, or is he going to get him on the cutback? Look, he's just backing out a little bit there. But has this given Nom too much? Nom goes instantly to the inside to cover off that move into turn 2. Bartman is going to have to do all the hard work round the outside, but he just backs out of it, elects to tuck up behind Aero Nom.
Just for a second, I thought he was going to swing it all the way around the outside. We have seen a couple of drivers do that and then claim the inside for the kink. But Aero Nom, just a couple of corners left, he's going to claim his second win of the year.
Yeah, this is going to be, it's going to be the final lap here in Austria. But here comes Bartman. Can he get it through? He's managed to squeeze it through up the inside, and a great move by this Canadian. Caught Aero Nom completely napping there. But here comes Nom. Bartman runs a bit wide. What could Nom do? It's going to be a fight right to the finish line, and they're going to come across almost side by side. But Bartman takes the win here in week 3 in Austria by under 1/10 of a second. Campbell comes across the line to round out the podium. Wow. I thought that would be done and dusted there, Adam, but somehow Bartman I think he caught Nom completely and utterly napping there. Just headed up the inside into right, and wow, what a great move, and Nom just couldn't quite do enough to get back at him across the line.
Now that was a great move at the end there. We're just watching the last few drivers coming over the line. Dantas claiming 13th and Brewster second in the Masters for 14th. I think he's just going around the last corner now. Yep, there he is, comes across the line. Claims a great 14th place overall from Misharek. Poldur in 16th. And Green in 17th is the last of our lead lap runners, I think.
Normally, I was just having a little look. Murakami, the reigning Masters champion, all the way down in 29th overall, 4th in class. A bit of a disappointing finish from him.
Yeah, going back to that move from Bartman, I was calling it Nom's way, half a lap to go, and I thought he'd claimed it, but Bartman obviously got a really good run all the way out of turn 2 and just snatched it up the inside there. Nom gave him plenty of room on entry, and then obviously thought he could swing it back in the toe to the end, but no, all Bartman's win, 600 separating them.
See the classified results. Tony Bartman taking the victory here in week 3 in Austria. Aaron having to settle for second in the end. Aidan Campbell rounds out the podium. Great result for the American. Naselli had to settle for 4th. However, David Bond was catching him towards the end. Yorgmani 6th. Tobacco and Arabian takes you up to 8th. Antonio Race, we mentioned, a winner in Masters and 9th overall for Feet, and a great result for him after a few disappointing race results. The last few races spanning from this season and last season. Fafini wins in Spec 2 and 10th overall. There's Beardsley, McGill, Dantes taking down to 13th, Brewster, Mirashek, Labulia, Green, Sweeney up to 18th. Then it's Jackson and Kocher rounding out your top 20. Dick McCain, Burkitt, Flores, McGuinness, Gibson, Gradwell and Darlow, Murakami and Jacobson takes you up to 30th. Then we've got in 31st, it is Kern with Hansen, Broadhurst, Waldbolt, Braisted, Justice, Brutenga, Grant up to 38th. Then it's Conti, Nino retiring the car. And a bit of a disappointing performance from him, and we used to see him cut his way through the park. Rodriguez, of course, we saw what happened to him as well. He'll be absolutely devastated after leading the way and looking like about the dead cert for winner, not just in class, but also potentially overall. Godfrey, Flag, Hansen, Mayer, Trespidi, and Effinger rounding out your field here. Wow.
Yeah,
what a great race once again.
Yeah, 2 names to pick out there, Mino and Rodriguez, back in the 40th and 41st. Obviously, the race quickly unravelled to them with their 2 separate incidents. But the rest of the pack, some great racing. I really enjoyed that.
It was an absolutely spectacular. And let's have a chat with the victor for tonight, Tony Bartman. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We were saying coming into that last lap, obviously we saw where Aeronom had got it up the inside and was ahead come turn 2, which turn 1, turn 2 seems to be the main overtaking opportunities. And I mean, credit to yourself. Did you just purely feel that you weren't going to give it up right until the line? Or, I mean, we were incredibly surprised. It almost seemed like you caught Aeronom napping.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to be able to make any moves once he got by me, but I saw an open door and I gave it a shot. I tried to be as clean as I could.
Obviously, that we saw across the line, under a 10th is all that separated you two. Was it a little bit of like, obviously I'm sure you could see in your mirrors, you could see him coming, and how much relief was it where you looked up and then saw you'd taken the victory?
Well, I was watching him beside me the whole way down to the finish line, and I just couldn't believe what I was about to achieve. I totally did not expect the win.
It was absolutely spectacular stuff. I mean, obviously we saw it during the race. It was almost like a multi-class race in the sense of, it was how to. It felt like out there, the person who could manage the traffic the best was going to stand in, with a good chance of the victory. Just obviously, across all the laps, I mean, some 42 laps tonight. Just sort of take us through what it was like being inside the cockpit and having to work your way through so many lap cars.
It's the one thing that I've been working on a lot is my, I guess you'd call it racecraft. You got to keep your eye up ahead, what's going on up there, and kind of predict where you think the cars are going to go, and I know it's really a tricky strategy.
Yes, it was. It seemed that way, definitely. Of course, obviously next week we're heading across to Silverstone. A bit more room out on track in width and length. How are you feeling about that one?
Oh, I'm just going to run my practice laps and try for my best. That's the best I can do. Like I said, I totally did not expect to win today, and I'll just try my best.
And anyone you want to give a shout out to or at all?
I know Rob's listening. Hey Rob, how's it going?
No worries. That's Tony Bartman there, your victor here in week 3 in Austria at the Red Bull Ring.
Thank you.
Let's cross on. I do believe we have got, waiting for yourself, Adam, our winner in Masters, Antonio Rice.
And tell you that.
Hello, good night.
Good evening. So how was that race for you? You've come home as the winner of the Masters category. That must fill you with a bit of joy.
Yeah, it's really a pleasure to be there with well, I would say if Manny could be on the Masters, but so Manny would be the guy that would get the cup. But well, while I'm still with Manny out of the Masters, I still finish ahead, so I'm kind of happy. Yeah.
You started the race just in front of Brewster and Murakami. Now, how did that race develop with those two from your point of view?
Well, I was trying to keep ahead of them if possible, and then kind of keep an eye on the relatives to see where they are all the time, and trying to control or where. If I was getting like slower, or if they catch me, I would let them by. That's for sure, because I always let the faster guys by because I don't want to, hold them back. But yeah, I was keep going, and they was kind of staying behind. So it was just kind of watching the relatives and trying to control the situation, basically. Yeah.
We saw a lot of trouble coming out of turn 5 and into the pit entry tonight. I mean, how was it from your point of view? I think, were you the driver who was following Rodriguez when he lost it out of the lead?
Yeah, I knew from the practice. I was, practicing the entrance, and I know it is very dangerous entrance for this car at least, and then I was always carefully when I approached that turn. Any time I was kind of expecting something to happen, but fortunately I wasn't catch with any of those kind of accidents.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about lucky.
Yeah, a little bit of riding your luck. Well, a brilliant race tonight. Very
Thank you,
well
sir.
on your first place, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, thank you for broadcasting. Yeah, catch you next week. Sorry for my English. Sorry, my poor English.
It's
Not a
far
problem.
far better than our Portuguese, definitely.
All right. Hey, okay, all good. Good year for you. Nice year.
Likewise.
2022. Thank you.
Take care. Wow. Great to hear from a couple of our drivers there, as always. And another great evening of racing once more. Now, if it's not been enough for yourself, currently coming up in around about 20 minutes time on the channel, we've got the IGP Fun F3 series. That's round 3 for them, and they are at Monza. It'll be definitely an interesting one to see that. Of course, the cathedral of speed that is Monza, and definitely plenty of slipstreaming and overtaking to be done around there. Then coming up, it's going to be in a couple of days' time at 2 a.m. GMT. It's the Ray Esports Racing Lead in round 7 for them, and they are at Summit Point. And of course, if you want to stay and get notifications of when we go live on here on Apex Racing TV, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. But I think, least to say, I have to try and have a bit of a lie down after all that chaos and after all that mayhem, and great evening of racing once more. From myself and Adam, and Jonathan. Thank you very much. Good night, and we'll see you in a week's time as we head to the UK and Silverstone.